Good evening. Welcome to our middle school percussion concert. I'm Dan Arana, percussion teacher at Sparing and Truman Middle School. Tonight you will hear a showcase of all of our middle school grade level percussion classes from both Sparing and Truman. We will also feature some of our soloists and a duet from this past Saturday's Solo and Ensemble Festival. Our first group is the sixth grade. Oyo Como Ba was written by the renowned band leader and drummer Tito Puente, and then it was made even more popular by Carlos Santana. This piece has become somewhat of a tradition around here. The main theme of the song is Listen How It Goes, the rhythm. This is Oyo Como Ba. Weren't they awesome? All right. Not bad for some sixth graders. All right. So we had our solo and ensemble festival last Saturday. All of a sudden, there's a lot of things to do for band and some driving and things. I appreciate everyone who went to that and drove for a while and did that and made time on a Saturday for that. And it was, I think, worth it. We had a lot of kids go, a lot of good ratings. Someone who played really well was Miles Williams. He played a snare solo, a seventh grader, learned it really well, played it in class really well, played it really well on Saturday. It's fun because it plays on the drum and uses some stick clicks, and he plays on the rim, and Miles is going to make sure the snare's on, and it's going to be great. This is Miles Williams. Okay, the next piece we're back there getting ready for is Candlesticks. It is the combined 7th grade from Sparing and Truman. It was fun when I listened to it. I thought it'd be more fun if we would mess around with the tempo. It reminds me of one of those songs, like a theme and variation, where you hear the theme, then you play with it a little bit, and over time you get, well, you'll see what we do to it. So this is going to be the 7th grade. As soon as we're ready, we'll play Candlesticks. Okay, our next soloist, I will find. Our next soloist is going to play a song I really like, probably one I assign each year. It's not always played so well that it gets an honor one rating, but it did this time. Sonia Haas will be playing Mexican Muchacha, and so please welcome her to the stage. Thank you very much. Okay. Our next piece is the 8th grade, and we did 2 different pieces, one with the Truman 8th grade and one with the Sparing 8th grade, and then we're going to do a third one we play together. So that's going to be fun. The one we chose for Truman is next, and it's kind of like a good way to teach a drummer 16th notes because it's got the common rhythms and sticking you want them all to know, such as 1 E and, 1 and a, 1 E and a. So if you're a drummer and I'm teaching you the sticking so you can keep time, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. And the whole idea is your right hand stays on the beat. So if you have a non-trained drummer, they don't do that. If you have a trained drummer, they do that. So all that's true, but also we just like the song because it sounds like spy music. So we're going to play Escape Artist. This is the 8th grade Truman Percussion Ensemble. think that went so well we can hardly believe it, because that's probably their best run. Nice job, guys. That was funky. Nice. Did you hear it? Right, left, right, 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 left, right, left, 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 right, left. Did you hear it? Who heard it? Just the percussion kids who are in the audience? Okay. Hopefully some more of you heard it. All right. Okay, next thing. This young man, I gave him some music. He came back. I were on here a couple of days. I think it was like one day. He came back the next day. Could I have something harder? Because this, and it wasn't that easy of a piece. So I gave him a harder one. I could have probably given him a third one. Archie Thomas will be our next soloist. He's a 7th grader. He did a really nice solo on Saturday. He played really well in class. He also, as a 7th grader, tried out for the district honor band and made that. That's very difficult to make as a 7th grader. It's difficult to make anyway, but he made it as a 7th grader. You only take about 10 kids out of the whole St. Louis area, and he was one of them. So he's going to come out here and play on the marimba, his solo called Leapin' Leprechauns. Archie Thomas. I'm thinking maybe next year we'll do Fly to the Bumblebee. That's what I'm thinking when I'm listening to that. It's a little faster, but pretty similar. Okay, our next piece is one that kind of backed by popular demand. The 8th grade said, you guys didn't play Avalanche Lake? And no, we didn't play that yet. They played it for their holiday concert last year, I think. So I was like, yeah, we should probably give this year's 7th grade a chance to play that song. It's pretty popular with the kids. And for some reason, it's just really catchy. The composer thought of the themes in his head as he's hiking around Glacier National Park, which is beautiful, and he was seeing the long waterfalls and that he witnessed on his 5-mile hike, and also thinking of his daughter and wanted to attribute a piece to her. So the bells kind of signifies that, and you can kind of hear it, a child's theme in here, and some sounds that might remind you of like a beautiful vista. Because it's such a great piece, we want to also honor our student teacher who's been helping this quarter and this semester, Mr. Bauer. Mr. Bauer is our student teacher. He's been to Sparing. He's mostly working at Truman just because of his schedule, and also at the high school. They love him up there. He helped conduct jazz last night at the concert. He's a graduate of Camden High School. He attended and is still working on his degree, soon to graduate music education from the University of Missouri-Columbia. He played in the Mizzou drum line with actually 2 of our Lindbergh graduates and was the bass drum section leader for them. He spent time there as a drum major, and now he's on the staff of Marching Mizzou. Please welcome to the stage to conduct 7th grade percussion ensemble, Mr. Bauer. Good job, 7th grade. Good job, Mr. Bauer. All right, so next piece, gentleman who's going to come out. I think he was a transfer into Lindbergh last year, and just had the hardest time with his name, and I thought he was Max, but his name's Sam. So the kids will tell you I struggle with that. Once I got it, usually I got it, but for him it took like a whole year. So I would fake it and say Maximum Sam. So for a while he was Maximum Sam, but I finally got that he's Sam. But I should have learned it sooner because he just works really hard at whatever he does, and I kind of feel like he got a little bit caught up, and also then just kept going up and up. Turned himself, I think, into a very good drummer. Has been doing some things in our middle school drum line, and then wanted to do a four-mallet marimba piece. If you see our kids playing four-mallet, we teach a grip called Stevens grip. A person who made that popular and kind of developed is named Lee Howard Stevens, where you hold 4 mallets. So he worked really hard on this and did a nice job on it, and it's called Sueños. So Sam, if you're ready to go, come on out and play Sueños. There he is, Sam Mosliner. Okay, our next piece reminds me of my video game days. And you're playing the game and you get through all the levels and you meet the final boss. And the final boss, yes, taken from older video games, where finally at the end you face off against the strongest opponent. Maybe they throw fireballs or something like that at you. And it's just a powerful piece, in the 8th grade really, from Sparing really like this one. We like that there's a couple of solos in the battery and a cool timpani part that does kind of a techno thing here and there. So please enjoy Final Boss. By the sounds of it, they beat the final boss. All right. Okay, our next group's come out. I can't claim a lot of responsibility for in terms of they were looking for solos, I think, and they found this duet. I said, I don't know. No one's done that in middle school before, and I don't know. And they said, no, let's just want to try it. And they, I think, fell in love with how it sounded. They found a recording of it. And Johnny and Thomas just worked on it. And the first time I heard it, they played almost the whole thing through because they practice a lot. Then I think some special thanks go to Johnny's private teacher, who I've known a long time, sometimes is one of our judges at contests, even came and helped here at Lindbergh a few times, named Christy Ludwig. She gives a couple of our kids private lessons, and I know they went and got a little help from Christy, so special thanks there. Both the boys play with the jazz ensemble and I guess jazz band as well. Had a fantastic concert last night, vibraphone and piano. And Johnny is a two-time, last year and this year, tried out for all suburban band and made it both years in a row. Honor band, one of the top 10 percussion in St. Louis. So this is our duet, Through the Looking Glass. They're going to take a bow. Nice job, guys. Nice job. All right, there we go. I didn't quite get to coaching them on that, so pretty cool. All right, our next piece. Okay, our next piece is sixth grade, and they'll be playing Lowrider. And this song, actually, the drummer came up with the coolest part. And it's one of the first videos they ever had from my research on Wikipedia or something. But it was the drummer who decided on accident to play on the offbeat, meaning on the ands, and played a beat on the ands by accident in practice, liked it, went with it, and then they kept it. Then they thought it would be a hit, and it was. And so it goes one and three, and it hangs out on the offbeat so long it's awkward. So we work on that first, and then we learn how to find beat 2 and 4. If I don't knock over my mic, one and three, and that helps us with the song. I'm going to turn you all into percussionists before the night's over, but that's the cool thing about the song. It's also supposed to be a little junkyard cool, like a lowrider, like you pull up and the car's got hydraulics and stuff. So we use a couple metal things, totally safe, instead of cowbells and things like that to get that flavor. Okay, is everybody here ready? All right. By the way, we have some drum solos, and they kind of had to try out for this part. And first one's Daniel, and the second one's Max. All right, so we have a couple of solos. Lowrider. I guess I'm looking confused because I put the songs in the right order, but I'm back now. All right, so the next one is, Ben's going to come out. Ben played last year too, I think. Played a really cool solo. I guess I could say he kind of drank the punch and went to a DCI show, which is Drum Corps International. If you're not aware, it'd be a neat thing to check out. An activity when I was younger, and you go and you try out and you go on tour and you play drumline, and it's like kind of like marching band, but at an Olympic level. And I know he went and saw a show and kind of fell in love with it. The type of playing he's doing is usually reserved for high school players. It's actually an A on the high school list, which is the highest level you can play sometimes. He's playing on a marching snare. That's why it's going to be loud. The top head is made out of Kevlar, same stuff they put in the Pentagon and protective vests and things, so it's made to be pretty loud, but if it's not very tight, it's hard to hear how fast he plays. So he's going to, and rightly so, the name of his piece is Tornado, and it's fun because he's got back sticking and all this stuff, so you'll see. All right, this is Ben Major. He asked me to play that for him after class one time to demonstrate it. And how's the song go? You're not as good as you once were, but you're good once as you ever were, or something like that. And I got through it, but it's tough. You have to really warm up. And I forgot too, and it's that long. If your hands get sweaty, that's dangerous. So that's a tough piece. There's one they call them rudiments, is the things they play, the little patterns, and A lot of people can't play the one on the third page, the last page, called Flam Drags, and he can play them and he can do backsticking. How about one more round of applause for Ben for that awesome solo. Okay, and now we have the 8th grade all together in one spot, which is fun. And I heard the piece, and I thought it was a really nice sounding piece, and also maybe a little bit sentimental sounding, given that these students have been together. A lot of them met for the first time, maybe. Schools coming together in summer band right before 6th grade. Kept taking that. Some of them did middle school drumline every year. We all hung out at Pink Out, made one giant drumline. And then pretty soon we're all going to go hang out at Silver Dollar City. And then many of us will be going into high school together. So this piece is kind of our last hurrah for percussion ensembles in terms of this ensemble. So that's kind of cool. And so this one's called Again. Okay, we're gonna actually keep the door, the curtain open because we're gonna get ready for middle school drumline. As soon as the battery's ready, we'll start our warm up. That will take just a minute, so please bear with us. Thank you. Probably not a good thing if the biggest drum falls off the stand while they're playing. So, all right, this is our final group, the middle school drum line. We practice every Tuesday. If you've not seen us before or been in the group, it happens on Tuesday from 3 o'clock till 4:45, pretty much from the, around when we have days off for Thanksgiving all the way until tonight's concert. It's for 7th and 8th graders normally. We have so many 7th and 8th graders involved. Sometimes we invite 6th graders. We just didn't have room this year. In fact, we had to kind of beg, borrow, and steal a couple extra instruments from the high school just to get everyone in. So it's been a really good season for us. Get lots of help from Mr. Linsenbart, who is our high school percussion teacher. If you'd come out, if Mr. Richardson's been coming, there's Mr. Linsenbart. He's our high school percussion teacher. I'll try to share out, they have a similar concert for the high school, and I'll try to share out information to these students so you can see theirs. But he comes down on Tuesdays and does a lot of work with the front ensemble group, especially in the cymbals and anything else that we ask him to do. We also have a visitor quite frequently, Mr. Paul Richardson, who's a friend of mine. We used to run into each other in groups we both were in, and he's been coming down and volunteering some time. And he's got experience with DCI, WGI, and a lot of other groups. I also met him when we kind of played for a little while in the St. Louis Rams drumline back in the day, and then he has been in charge of the St. Louis City soccer drumline. So we're glad to have his expertise when he's able to join us. Also, a big thank you to Carrie Ake, who I think last year and this year provided the snack for the drumline at our last rehearsal and donated that to us. So I really appreciate that. And then all the helpers, A-plus tutors, high schoolers who, and a couple of you were back there and you helped last year, still come out and helped with the middle school drumline. And they do that, and they do get some credit for that if they're sophomore or older. Please come out, Evan and John and everyone else. Did you say come out? I'll say your name. Bradley, John, come on out. And Emmy, go further out because there's many of you. Cooper and Saturn and Emmy. And Lucy's back there. Hi, she helped last year. All right. One more round of applause for our helpers. They make it fun and keep us going and do a bunch of stuff I can't get to. Thanks, guys. Okay, and this year we kind of went more of a classical approach, and which is good because we found a really good song that a friend of mine wrote and let us borrow and play. And it's the New World Symphony, and I think it just happens to be the same song that I played when I was a freshman in high school, playing the quads, and I was about that tall. And so I still remember it, and it was a lot of fun. After that, we're going to play our street beats that the high school drumline plays, the same ones we play at parades around here, and we even played them at the Tournament of Roses parade, and we'll probably play them on our next band trip, except our next band trip's an Irish parade, I think, so we're going to play them in a swing field. So this is the middle school drumline. Thanks for coming to our concert. When we're all done, that's the whole thing. Thanks for bringing them to a couple extra things this week. And after that, we'll see you at the band concerts. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. The students do have some things to put away. I did find out that we will want to clear the stage. 8th graders have done this a few times. The younger kids have done it fewer times, but they can still push things. If adults would like to help with some of those things, that would be appreciated. We are going to rack some stands, take some things around the, I hear the garage door opening because we're going to be doing that. And it's here and down the hallway into the percussion room. So we'll have helpers, we'll have some high school guidance, high school player guidance. And so appreciate any help you can provide. Thanks again for coming. Have a wonderful evening.